All right. Here we go. Test on that audio, see if we're doing okay. Yo, how's it sounding? Is it all right? You know, I think it's sounding pretty good. Let's play a song. Yeah, maybe a little more of this kind of tone. All right, yeah, we're working here in the FM9. I'm going to play a song here and see how it goes. Maybe it goes good. Maybe it does not. Who knows? noodling around. I haven't played that one in a long time. I wanted to talk about the FM9 and how to kind of improve it and use it and get it sounding a little bit working in a dual environment. So I've got this diesel cab set up behind me, and I've got the Seymour Duncan power station. This thing right here, the Seymour Duncan power stage 100. And it's splitting it. And I wanted to talk about how I'm doing it in the FM9. And I've got the second window pulled up so you guys can see that window, right? So basically what I do, and it's kind of an interesting and simple way, this is one of the simplest presets that I've got, is to use just a straight line going across, right? Like this is just a Marshall, yeah. And then a Eternal Love Drive, some EQ. This delay is controlled with my expression pedal. So if you watch this knob over here in the mix, you can see that I'm controlling that there, you know. Right? So just watching that mix knob, that's the only thing that's happening with the delay. The reverb's just kind of barely on. Just a little bit of something there. Okay. And then the split is what I wanted to talk about. So if nobody wants to wait an hour for the live stream to be over, here's what I'm doing. I'm just building a straight line. And output 1 is the very first outputs on the back of the unit, on the back of the hardware of the FM9. This is going to front of house, and I've got a, this G12H30 cabinet. I think that sounds pretty good. And that's going to front of house. Now, output 1 on the hardware itself has a volume knob that I can control and give front of house whatever they need to feel good, right? And then output 2... output 3. The reason I'm skipping output 2 is output 3 has 1/4 inch, and 1/4 inch instrument cables are going to the Seymour Duncan, this power stage that's sitting right on top of the amp, and it's really small. It's a really small unit and super impressive. There's no tubes anywhere in this rig. I see somebody kind of talking down there at the bottom. No tube anywhere in here. And I think it sounds really good with what we got going on, and I can control my volume, my stage volume, essentially what we're going to call my stage volume, through this Seymour Duncan power stage, right? And that's stereo. So the cabinet here, the cabinet that I'm playing through is a diesel 412 with G1265s in it, and the G1265s sound really killer. I'm a big fan, big proponent of those, and the two of them on one side are handling the left, two on the right side are handling the right. So when I bring in effects like that pitch shift that I think sounds really good, let's go back to that Friedman patch. You should be able to see that over here. Let me pull that up. Yeah, you see the Friedman there. I've got it under Andy Crunch, AW Crunch, as one does. Pretty simple, straightforward. I bring in the pitch shift. It sounds really good, right? Kind of inspired by the balance era, that era of Van Halen that I love so much. Add in some more room. And if I want more drive, I can of course bring it up. Very much that like super over the top processed schmutz kind of sound that I think sounds really good. Again, this is not something you use all the time. It's just something I bring in and out. You know, I'll walk you through my presets. Go back to the preset mode. Yeah, kind of walk you through the things that I use. This is the, you know, I call this singles, you know, for the... Right. Right, it sounds really nice. Let's just play that. Kind of give it to you in context of how I'm going to walk through it in a song. This is Imagine Love. Maybe here it is. So kind of jumping back and forth on those kind of different sounds. And then, you know, it's like I've got the window, if you can kind of see, let me get back up to the FM9. The way that I'm kind of operating this thing is I'm pulling the FM9 in and out of a pedal board mode. So I have my main preset mode, like a telly kind of sound. You know, it's like it's better with a single coil. But as I go across, here's like a crunch, and then the mesa kind of thing. And then kind of a smoother lead that I like. Of course, with delay. Right? And then as I go in and out of the preset mode, like I did on that solo, I just hit one button and it flips the FM9 into the effects mode, where I can add in my overdrive. If you're watching the window, you see that block come on. You know, it's kind of nice for that, right? Like if we were to do another one, you know, we would kind of have some. This is kind of how I'd play this live. Let's see. you know. So that's kind of how I would navigate, you know, playing a whole song just within one preset, just using some of the different effects that I have in it, working, you know. I love the pitch shift though. It's super 80s sounding, but I love it. You know, it's totally that thing. So it's such an over-the-top kind of sound. It's not something you want to lay into all the time, but when it's time to use it, it's really nice. You know, it kind of having the right tool for the job. What's the interval for the 80s pitch shift? 9, -9, +9. That's the sweet spot. It's like the Van Halen thing, right? Now, it is to note that there is the cabinet giving me some in the room sound. So it's not just out of the monitors. I'm getting it out of the cabinet. This is like a test run. The reason I'm doing this is a lot of you guys know that I work with the lead singer from Rascal Flatts, Gary, a lot. I work with him a lot on his solo stuff. Gary will sometimes get called in to do just an appearance and sit in and do, you know, something like tomorrow night, for instance. We're doing a thing. Let me get on my other screen here so I can see the chat. So like tomorrow night, for instance, we're doing a gig in Nashville before we head out to Texas. And the gig is us playing Fast Cars and Freedom and Life is a Highway. And so to go in there with my full rig of 2 412s, 100 watts, tube heads, full pedal board, way over the top, it would literally take me longer to set up my rig than we would be playing one of the songs. So I'm looking for a solution where I can go in and just ask for a couple of backline cabs. And this is a thing where I can just, you know, is it going to be exactly like my live rig? You know, not exactly. But will it do what we need to do at a inspiring level, at a level of quality that I'm inspired to play and do a good job for Gary when you're just doing a throw and go, right? Like that's the catch. So to me, the solution is this Seymour Duncan Power Stage. I'm going to try it out tomorrow. This is the most I've ever played with it. It's just, you know, this is trial by fire, just noodling through some songs here and showing you how I intend on using it tomorrow. Now, the cool thing is, of course, you can put your FM9 on a pedal board and have all this stuff on one big board. And then you kind of get back to that situation where you're carrying this giant flight case, this board. The D'Addario backpack, the FM9 will fit in it with one of the EV2 expression pedals. And I can take the little power station in that backpack as well, this little Power Stage 100. My cables, and I'm literally, my whole rig's in my backpack. So that's what the most intriguing thing about this setup is the fact that I'm super mobile. I can get in there, throw my stuff on the floor, be ready to roll, be out of there, right? Ninja. We're looking for ninja level stuff, right? Not going in there. I mean, like, look, guys, y'all know I love the Reload 2 from 2 Notes as a way to split the signal and get all my effects. I've got my giant pedal board over here, and I love all of that stuff. And if I have my way, that's the way I'm going to run it. But I don't have my way all the time, and I've got to be able to just step in and be a ninja and nail this and get out of it, right? So we're going to test this week, and I'm going to report back. Again, you know, I've got 1, 2, 3 pieces of gear. FM9, expression pedal, power stage, and cables. That's it. So this should be pretty good, right? Okay, now let's hit some questions here. We've had some good times playing some tunes. Let's hit some questions. Let me go up here. All right. Okay, Sam, this is for Sam Rat Guitar. Sam, I hope you're doing great today. I hope your Tuesday's going great. Sam says he's a blues player here, and he primarily uses the Ibanez TS9 and Marshall G15 RCD. I don't even know what that is. Boss ME80 with a Strat. Can you please tell me how to get such a rad tone? You know, there's really 2 main ingredients you're going to need, which is a really great delay, and you're going to need a different overdrive. I'm not a proprietor of telling you to get rid of the Ibanez TS9. That's a great overdrive for what it does, but you need an overdrive that's a little smoother and doesn't have that, like, you know, a Tube Screamer has the clean kind of with the dirt sound, and it's. I would recommend searching reverb. I'm going to be nepotistic here. My nepotism is going to show up. But my nepotism exists for a reason, because I think it is, you know, fantastic distortion. You need the gearbox. It's got a noise gate in it. Crank the gain up, get it nice and smooth, roll the mids down, because the mids aren't mids in that pedal. They're like an upper mid thing. Get the pedal nice and smooth. Set the amp clean. You need a good delay, because a lot of my sound comes from getting that delay. So like a halo is going to do you a great job. So, you know, if I'm not nepotism, if we're not being like that and not choosing our own flavor, I would use the Andy Timmons pedal from JHS. I think that's another one. So that and the halo will get you there. Nice smooth sounds. Hit some more. Did you hear the sad news about Thomas Nordig? I mean, I think was Tom. So for those that don't know, Thomas Nordig is the guitar tech to Steve Vai. A fantastic, sweet human, and has been with Steve for a long time. I think I saw that maybe he was in some kind of scooter accident. Is that correct? Chat, if you'll tell me. Andy, what do you think if I change the pedal board to Neural DSP Quad Cortex? I mean, whatever works for you. You know, I like the fractal stuff. I like that ecosystem. It's just something that works for me. But I don't know if there's verse. I mean, I think that there's, you know, Jack Gardner gets great sounds out of the Neural DSP. So go for it. Andy, having played the Helix and Axe 2 specifically, I don't know what the question is. Is it, have you played? Yeah, hit me that question. Let's roll on down. Do you think you could get these kind of tones and stuff through a Neural DSP or other plugin? I mean, you can, but you can't take it with you. That's the reason I don't use a lot of plugins, is because I want something that can go with me. I don't like to being tethered to my computer for my tones. So maybe a Quad Cortex would be something I'd be more interested in out of the Neural ecosystem. I want to be able to, if I have a good sound, I want it to go with me somewhere else, you know. Thanks for the kind words. A lot of you guys give me some kind words. I appreciate it. Does a diesel cab get better mileage than a gasoline cab? I like that a lot. That's from Poo Ninja. Does the diesel cab get better gas mileage than gas? I don't know the answer to that. It gets miles per gallon, not miles per gallon. Let's hit it. The only tune on this record I can legitimately play. It's really good. I definitely hear your Steve Morrison Petrucci influences. It's so uniquely your own. Man, I appreciate that so much. Obviously, I love both of those guys. Very great. And Satch and Beck. You guys, I mean, obviously, I love those guys. Those are my favorite players. And I'm just trying to tell a good story. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm just trying to write good songs. And the goal for me is, try to tell a good story from the songwriting aspect of it. That's so clutch for me. Fort Worth Texan says, I'm sure Andy mentioned Fractal's having a sale. I'm going to load up on VP4 with EV2. Yeah, those that don't know, Fractal is having a sale right now. I'm actually probably going to buy another EV2 today. I think those are super, super awesome. That's what I'm using right now is the EV2, and they're killer. Here we go. This is good stuff from Keith. Keith Attack says, hey, I play with Rob McCauley as a lead guitarist on his solo UK shows. I always use a Kemper profiler. This is turning my head. Can you make Kemper sound the same, or are there differences? In no disrespect to the people that make it, I can't get the Kemper to do what I want to do. It's not the ecosystem for me, and I prefer the Fractal ecosystem. So that's not a slag. A lot of great guys get great sounds with Kemper, but I'm not one of those guys. I have my own way of doing things and the things that I like to hear and the things that I like to control. So that's the thing with the, if it's Fractal versus Kemper, it's Fractal for me. Have you had a time to fiddle with the new surround delay in the Axis? No, all I do is work. I work all the time. I don't get a chance to just noodle and play for fun, right? I can't ever get a few minutes just to chill. Fukan here says, or Abilash Fukan says, which amp model? Okay, so there's multiple amps going on. This amp model is a Lone Star. Sounds like this. This is what I was using for the it's really nice for that. And I hit it with a little overdrive every now and then. It's nice. The second amp model we have is a Fender Deluxe for the Brent Mason thing. And then we have a Friedman BE. And then a Mesa Boogie Triple Crest. Very, very Petrucci sounding, I think, And then the last one is a Marshall with an overdrive pedal on it. And this is interesting because if you take the overdrive pedal off, this is how clean the amp is. That's how I use my SL68. The SL is kind of loud and clean and dark. Really nice sound, especially with flanger. Big crunchy rock. So I only use just a handful of amp models. I'm not using a ton of different amps, which is for me just getting good consistency, right? All right, definitely going to get me a couple of those Andy Wood signature guitars. I think that's a good idea. They are awesome. Crap. I just lost my spot. How does one get the little piece of metal that holds the guitar string in on an Ibanez? I think it is Floyd Rose. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Andy, could you turn up a little bit? I don't, the guitar or the vocals? Voice audio is quiet. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me, is that a little bit better? Just kind of adjusting some things here. I can send a little bit, just a little bit more there. Yeah. It's pretty loud in here. I'm trying to avoid any feedback within the studio itself. So, where were we? Okay. Do you prefer the brass saddles or the modern 6 saddles? I think it just depends on the scenario. I really like both. For more traditional stuff, I like the brass saddles, but I do love the 6 saddle. It's kind of both. What if your diesel cab has EV speakers or hybrid? I don't have that. I mean, it's gonna sound different, you know. I mean, I love EVs. I love EV12Ls. Little Rap Guy says it's cheaper to have all these plug-ins on the same pedal. It's exhausting. I don't even know the chords yet. I play single notes. Man, just look. A great clean amp, like I think everybody's first amp should be a Fender Deluxe Reverb. Get a Fender Deluxe Reverb and some pedals. That's what I think everybody should learn how to play on. Just because you learn what the amp works like, you know? Timothy5974, thank you for the kind message. I appreciate that so much. What does the Seymour Duncan box do? This is what Jeremy's saying. Emulate a power stage. The power stage, this right here, see if I have a picture of it in the manual. It looks like that. It's sitting on top of the cabinet, and you can see how small it is right under this window that I'm gonna yeah, so now you can see how small the power stage is right there. Bring the window back. Okay, the power stage is allowing me to power this cabinet. And as you can see in the window, I'm splitting my signal. So the cabinet, where you see the cabinet block in the FM9 edit, that goes from cab block into output 1. That's what's going to you guys direct. That's what's also going to these Mackies, these studio monitors. That's the direct sound with the cabinet IR on. Now, you don't want to send an IR sound into your cabinet because this is already a cabinet. So I've got the split happening at the very end, and that just bypasses the cabinet to the Seymour Duncan, and it works great. I really love it. Andy, how does one break into the music world? Do you mean the music business or the music world? Do you want a gig, or are you trying to get a gig? Or I think I need more specifics in that question to be able to help you out. Let's just see here. I'm rolling down in the chat. Okay, how much different would it sound if you plugged the Walmart Strat into the same stuff you're playing with? It's a good. What's the cheapest guitar that I have? Okay, here's a good one. I don't know how in tune it's going to be. Let's mute that. I'm going to grab this $300, maybe not even $300. This is a $300 guitar. And we'll take a listen to it. This is a really cheap guitar that I bought at NAMM years and years and years ago. I don't know what I've got it tuned to, but I think I've got it tuned a whole step down. No, it's tuned to E flat. Okay. So it's tuned a half step down right now. It's not in tune at all right now is the problem. But this is a great question. What happens if you plug a cheap guitar into all of this stuff? And I think this is going to sound nice. It obviously doesn't sound as good as the Sir, but it still sounds good. Other patches. This is the clean patch. Okay, you know. Oh, whoops, wrong button. There we go. I think it sounds okay. I don't think it sounds as nice as the Sir, but that's just me. There we go. Little quick example there. Let's hit a couple more questions before we bail out today. Nikon says, let's get this straight. You sound amazing, but with real pedals under real amps, you sound better. Yeah, I mean, I like real pedals under real amps. That's just me. I only like flanger and a wet dry wet. I mean, it's fun to me. James Norton says, Woody, are you aware of Marshall Harrison? He'd take you to another level. I think Marshall Harrison has so much great technique. He really does. He's got all the technique. I'm not into chasing technique these days. I'm trying to write songs. I think Marshall's got all kinds of technique. The guy can shred amazingly, but I'm chasing songs at this point in my career. I'm chasing writing good songs. So unless he wants to, unless he's got something up his sleeve that I'm not aware of, I'm after a different goal. You know what I mean? Let's hit some stuff right here. A couple more questions, and I lost my place again. Emil says, huge fan. What cab settings do you use to maintain the stereo width of delays out of output 1 to front of house? When the you gotta make sure that the cabinet is in. I'm gonna go to the page right now. I'm gonna show you. If you go to the cabinet block where I'm using this Dynacab thing, but you got to make sure the input mode is set to stereo. That's mandatory. Input mode down here in the bottom left has got to be set to stereo. So you got to have that, or you're not going to have any of that. FM9 with gearbox. I absolutely want to do that. That's more stuff than I want to take right now. I think that's where we're going to go. Yeah, James Norton said, I've got a Gibson shirt on with a Gibson. I mean, look, guys, I don't think Gibson's going to be pissed at all. I got videos coming with this thing right here. I got videos coming that I'm editing that's got this freaking Murphy Lab in it, This is the real deal, Murphy hotness. So I think Gibson's they're going to be just fine. And he said that my guy said, hey, can you play a cheap guitar through it? And I played the $300 Gibson copy. But yeah, the joke is good. And then we've got more the gigging world. I'm currently at Berkeley and want to know what to look for with venues and whatnot. When you're gigging, do you want to be gigging as an artist or you want to be gigging as a sideman with an artist? Two different things. If Gibson were to put Andy on the payroll, then yes, but funny. I love Gibsons, Let's see here. They should put him on the artist list. I love Gibsons. And Gibson makes, obviously being a mandolin player, the F5 is the most legendary mandolin of all time. That goes without saying. So I'm a Gibson fan. Andy, what multi-effects unit that does not need any updates, what do you recommend? I have a pedal board with a bunch of effects, but considering a multi-effects unit, and I have no computer. VP4, and if you never updated it ever again, it would be fantastic. The Fractal VP4 is the best multi-effects. It's my favorite. You get all the effects from the big boy Fractal units. It's tiny, and yeah, it's the one. Jared says, hey, Wood, I just discovered you a few weeks ago. Become a new favorite musician. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. And we've got a great community, Patreon community. Always a shout out to you guys for the support on the channel. Because of you, I'm able to put together these crazy experiments and test them out and bring them to you guys so you guys can check out what it is. So if you love that stuff and you love what we do here, think about going over to the Patreon, patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. We do a live weekly masterclass on Zoom that's really great, and that's obviously more interactive because it's a Zoom call. And then, of course, there's 600 plus lessons over there as well. So it's really killer. And just for $5 a month, you can join up and get access to all of those lessons, which is a really good deal. I'm actually going to upload these FM9 patches for my Patreon members. So Patreon members, I know I saw Jim in here earlier and some of you guys, I appreciate you so much. And these FM9 patches will be going up in the next day or so. I'm going to probably upload them while I'm out on tour this week. So yeah. Are you going to be at NAMM this year, dude? No, Jeremy, unfortunately, I'm not going to be at NAMM. I'm the musical director for Shiprocked, which is the big music festival, rock and roll festival on the cruise ship that they do. It's gigantic. Make sure to go to shiprock.com. It's killer. And but unfortunately, I can't be at two places at the same time. Andy, do you ever have days where you feel like you're not playing as good as days before? Actually, today, I don't feel like I'm playing that good today. I feel like I'm very sporadic, a lot of just flubs and stuff. But it's because I've been working on all of this other stuff, and this is the answer to the question. A day like today where I'm working on all this tone stuff, I've not practiced properly. So I need to make time today to just focus on my playing and not focus on gear. So that's one of those things. That I find that really works. But again, it's like you got to kind of do it all and keep it all going, right? Can you give us any guitar string secrets? Yeah, every guitar length, as far as strings go, every guitar has its own scale length, right? Like Gibson has their scale length, Fender's got their scale length. I adjust my string gauges to try to get everything to feel similar. So on a Fender scale length, you can see the headstock goes this way, and the E string has to travel farther. I use a hybrid gauge of 9 to 46 on the Fender scale length. On Gibson scale length, I use 10 to 46, and it gets it to feel moderately the same, moderately close. So Fusicon says probably gigging in a band or hired for another artist. The most important thing you can do there is network and set up all of your social medias, whether it be YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, and separate you as the person from you as the artist, or you as the guitar player, right? Instagram and YouTube, they're a business card. So think of it this way. If a management firm, most people in managements don't have a high skill level of playing. They probably all kind of dabble, but they all have really good ears that know what they like, right? So management guys will be like, oh yeah, we need a bass player. Send me 5 over. And then maybe a friend of mine will say, hey man, do you know a bass player? And I'll send 5 people's Instagrams so he can just open them up and look at them, right? So I think just making sure that all of what you are as a commodity, as a product, right? Because you've really got to look at yourself as a product. If you're going to be out there playing. I mean, John Mayer knows what he is, right? He knows exactly what kind of guy he's he knows exactly what, and it's well represented. So start thinking of yourself in that aspect of being like, is what I can do on the instrument represented on Instagram? Is my look represented on Instagram? If I've done gigs, are they represented on Instagram? Are you well represented on, and I'm using Instagram, it could be any of them, Twitter, whatever. It's on social media. If somebody Googles your name, what are they going to find? Because that's realistically how everyone will look at you if they don't know who you are, or they're going to go to your website or whatever, right? Can you teach us your approach on fretboard positions? I'll tell you what, Alexa right here is asking a big question. Let's make that next week's stream. So put a pin in that. Chuck's in the house, and we're going to put a pin in that. Next week will be about fretboard positions, right? That's the thing. So Southern Shade is kind words. I appreciate that so much. Any secrets to staying focused, and how much do you... I don't really do finger exercises. I try to play the material that I've got coming at me this week. So I've got a lot of Rascal Flatts material that I've got to be playing this week. And then I've got my show coming on December 12th. So heads up, anyone in the greater East Tennessee area, I'm doing a homecoming show right here in Knoxville. We're doing all the material from Charisma and some choice cuts from Junktown. That's going to be at the Bijou on December 12th, and tickets are going fast. So I'd love to see you. I'd love for folks that are joining us to come out and see the show and see what it's all about. Because really, you can sit in your little dungeons all day long. But man, playing music for people in front of people, it's the best. That's the most important thing to me, is going out and sharing the fellowship in person and doing it. I think that's why I gravitate to live streaming more than I gravitate to making pre-recorded videos. I like interaction, and I like the camaraderie and the fellowship of the guitar community. So please come on out to the Bijou December 12th. Like I said, tickets are going really fast. So get them. All right. Andy, Dustin's here. Andy, restate my question. Helix versus Axe-Fx 2 tones. Is Line 6 only now catching up to Fractal's old stuff? I think both units can get some great tones. I think both units have way more horsepower than most players will ever need. So I don't think it's really, I think the percentages of difference is negligible. It's how you dial it in. That's really everything, right? I'd love to jam with John 5. If John 5 ever wanted to do a tour together, I think that'd be a blast. Yeah. Zach is saying, is there a difference between EQ and high volumes of stage use for modelers? How do you prepare presets in your monitors for live use and stage volume? We use in-ears with, I have no intentions of using an FM9 without in-ears. So my modeling units are going straight to the in-ears and the cabinets just so I can feel some air behind me and throw some volume around. Yeah. All right. Any plans for touring Europe? Yes, actually, there are plans aplenty for touring, and I'm super excited about it. Had a great call today. Yeah, more on that soon. I got 95% on 22 guitar, which I feel like was pretty okay, but I don't think it's worth me speaking the next. I don't understand that, but that's okay. Southern Shade says, awesome. I live in Knoxville. See you at the Bijou. Yeah, Southern Shade, those tickets are being linked right now. Chuck Keller is posting those, and we're talking about offering a Q&A before the show. So maybe there's going to be more coming on what we offer. But as of now, please jump over to that link and snag some tickets for the Bijou. Would love to see you, especially Knoxvillians. I'd love to fellowship with you in person. Have you ever attended Aristocrats gig? I actually have done gigs with Guthrie, if you can believe that. So yeah, I've actually jammed with Marco Minimum. There's legendary jam of us doing some Zeppelin. It was a blast. Need some New England tickets. Yeah, I know. Tour. Stay tuned. Tour stuff is happening. Okay. Now, with that said, we've just wrapped up all the questions. Perfect timing here. I'm going to go grab something to eat and then come back down here and practice and finish dialing this in. Patreon members, be looking for these FM9 patches. They'll be coming at you probably today. I'm going to run through some things a couple more times and get happy with them. Then I'm going to post them up on the old Patreon machine. So everyone, man, thanks for hanging out. I hope this was helpful in how I use the FM9 live as in hearing the sound out of a cabinet with a power amp and sending front of house something really tasty with good IRs without overlapping the cabinet and the front of house signals. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a great week and be blessed. And that's all I can really hope for. Go do some picking, go do some practicing, go do some gigging, enjoy the guitar, and be good to each other. And we'll talk to you guys real soon.